How's it going, everybody? This is BeatTheBush. Today, I'm going to talk about the looming stock market reckoning. Why do I call it a reckoning? Because the current stock market valuations is completely unhinged from the fundamentals. Before I begin, this video is sponsored by Webull. Webull is a free trading app with over 1 million downloads. Get yourself a free stock if you just sign up, and then if you deposit another $100 in your account, you'll get another free share of stock. Unemployment rate right now sits at 14.7%. Now, if you just kind of think about this, you kind of need a reference on how bad this really is. At the peak of the Great Depression in August 1932, it had an unemployment rate of 25.5%. So it's like 2/3 way there. At the height of the 2008 financial crisis, the unemployment rate was around 10%. Given that the unemployment rate is higher, some people might argue that this is very temporary. People got laid off temporarily because of the lockdown, and they think that if we come out of lockdown, all of a sudden people are going to get their jobs back or very, very quickly recover from this. But the truth here is the longer that we lock down, the more permanent these jobs loss is going to be. And these days, it's trickling into tech, it's trickling into other jobs other than the service industry. Check out this article over here. Bank of America sees about $1 trillion in cash to go into stocks. Now, whenever I look at the news, there's always some bull case, and then there's always some bear cases. So who do you actually believe? What I think of is kind of like myself, because I have a lot of cash sitting on the sidelines right now. But there's going to be a reason that I'm going to actually start spending this money and buying some equities, because I'm looking for a bottom here. I'm looking for the equities to be somewhat safe and that I'm not going to see a dramatic loss in the near future. So in order for this $1 trillion to start going back into the market, something needs to happen. Maybe there's a vaccine. Maybe the reopening of the economy sequence is safe enough that it's gone on for a little while and then we do not see a second wave coming. And this is going to be kind of iffy because there's no guarantee that it won't come no matter how long you wait. Maybe like a month or two later. Then when people get complacent, that is when the second wave comes. Again, in order for people to put their money in, people are really looking for the reinfection to be under control. Although this article is kind of upbeat, it's saying, oh, there's a lot of money, it's suddenly gonna go all into equities, that's why this is a bull case. When I look at this article, I don't see it as a bull case because there's a criteria here. People need to see something change in order for that money to start going in. Check out this other pessimistic article over here. Mortgage delinquencies surged by 1.6 million in April. 1.6 million doesn't really mean that much to me because I have no reference to how much it was before. So typically the delinquency rate back in March 2020, it's around 3%. So in April, the fact that it doubled to 6.45%, this is a really, really bad thing. Doubling is a huge number here. So the prior record is delinquency going up by 1%. This is 3 times as bad. You wonder, why are there so much delinquencies and yet the stock market keeps roaring upwards? This is indeed very puzzling to me. But I feel like eventually the stock market is going to realize what's going on here. Aside from all the federal money printing and stuff, just take a look at the Johns Hopkins dashboard. I'm coming back to this because I showed this at the very beginning. Over in March timeframe, this is when I showed it, and I showed it around 500,000, 700,000 cases worldwide. And I said, oh my gosh, you know, at this rate, it's going to hit to 1 million infections worldwide in roughly 7 days, 10 days or so. That's when it actually happened. And look at it now. It's at 5 million. So if I said back then, when it was 700,000, that it's going to head towards 5 million, no one's going to believe me. But what I'm looking at right now is 5 million. It looks like it's going to easily double to 10 million. And this is going to be a far-off case, but we see like 100,000 new cases every single day. If this accelerates, but right now it's not because it's kind of staying flat. In order to get another 5 million cases, we only need maybe 6 or 7 weeks of whatever that is happening right now. The current rate is just 100K every single day. If you check out the world daily cases here, it hasn't been improving. Some countries are going down. Yes, I wish I was in those countries. Some countries are actually going up and some are sort of staying flat. Some are going down a little bit at a time. But if you round everything out, it's kind of staying flat across the world. So why should you be concerned about if it stays flat across the world? It's because If some country has an infection that's out of control, this is going to be very hard to not re-import these cases back into your own country. As long as there is some country that has an explosive case of infection, said country is going to have to brace itself with very, very strict quarantine measures with anyone that goes in. And if you have these measures going on, the travel industry is going to be decimated. People are not going to travel to a country that has a 2-week quarantine requirement. And so if you have these measures in place, you can kind of see like the entire world is not doing very well right now. If you have the tourism industry not doing very well, people are not making money, people are hurting. And so this in turn affects the entire world economy. The United States is not immune to this. So there's going to be a trickling effect. It's going to leak into GDP, everything else. Now, if you zoom in on US cases only, we can see that the daily new infections is going down. But then it's going down way too slowly compared to some other countries. And if you just simply extrapolate this, it looks like if we keep on doing whatever we're doing right now, it's going to hit 0 around September, which is a really, really long time. And it's only doing this because we have so much lockdown measures in place. This is only going down because we have these shelter-in-place requirements going on. Because we're relaxing these requirements a little bit, what I see happening is that it's not going to keep on going down like the initial trajectory all the way to September. What's going to happen is it's going to flatten out, and after, I think, 2 weeks or so, it might actually come back up a little bit. At which rate it's going to come back up really depends on how stringent the social distancing measures are going to be, how fast we will relax things. The fact is, most Americans, including myself, we're just sick and tired of sheltering in place. This is very detrimental to, your mental well-being. You just want to go out and do something. You want things to return back to normal, meet your family, meet your friends and stuff. And I personally really, really want to do this. But I think it is indeed too detrimental to do a full lockdown. If we do this for months and months, it's just gonna, I don't know. That's when it's really gonna tank the stock market. And I think probably the realistic thing to do is make sure all the old people home, they're very, very well protected. People have to sanitize their hands or something, or maybe there's gonna be a strict requirement of visitors. And I still see at my local grocery store, there are one-way aisles and people just try to pass by each other. People sort of try to social distance, but then it's not strictly enforced, even though people have their mask on and stuff. So just me going to a supermarket, I panic a little bit just seeing what's happening in the Bay Area. So here is what I think is gonna happen. We're gonna start relaxing all these criterias pretty soon over in California and across the entire United States. Probably sometime the first week of June, June 3rd or so. We're gonna level off in terms of the number of new infections. And I think it might take another week or two before the infection rate per day goes up again. And this is gonna be very hard to see. And I think if this happens, and I think there's a high likelihood of this happening, 65, 75% in my mental record of probability here. And when this happens for a consecutive few days or so, I think this is when the stock market is gonna freak out. It's gonna go, oh my gosh, things are gonna get out of control. Cases per day is increasing. Then that is when we're gonna see a drastic drop in the stock market. And then maybe the policies is gonna react to this. So this is why I have to monitor the market very, very closely. I don't know what's gonna happen a few weeks from now because this all depends on the policies that are enacted in place. How are people reacting? Are people taking this seriously? Because if reinfection happens and actual people die that they know in front of them, they actually believe this is true instead of saying this is a hoax or whatever, then when people start believing all this and follow the social distancing rules, follow, strictly having a mask on, and not like the cashier where they just kind of pull it below their nose. This is the cashier I had. They had the mask right here, and that's not protecting them at all, and this is how you can get it, actually. So this is my near-term prediction. If the policies and if the way that people react changes based on what happens, then of course I need to change my prediction as well. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This is my current standing. I am still 100% cash over here. And again, check out my Webull referral link down in the video description below if you guys are interested in helping out this channel. And as always, don't forget to give me a like, comment down below. Let me know if you are a bull or bear, or you think there's a drastic drops coming in the stock market, more than 10%, let's say. And as always, don't forget to push that subscribe button and ring that bell icon. Thanks for watching.